Let me now turn to Honorable Dr. Ayew Afrifa. Honorable, you are ranking. You have 10 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the State of the Nation's address. Mr. Speaker, before I do so, I would want us to put some figures into perspective. It will be in the form of correction, but the Hansa Department, I'm ready to give after this presentation the balanced position of the NHIA, and I want it to be captured so there's no politics on social health insurance financing in this country. Mr. Speaker, in the presentation of the President, indeed, I would want to quote. Mr. Speaker, the President stated that, and I quote, claims payments are now timed with facilities no longer waiting more than half a year for payments. Mr. Speaker, there has not been delays in payments, and there is no day that was inherited by the new government since 2025. Mr. Speaker, as of 7 January 2025, the NHIA had a positive balance of 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, as of then, they had paid providers up to October. Conventionally, Mr. Speaker, providers would wait up to 3 months before claims are paid. Mr. Speaker, as based upon this convention, as of January 7th, all payments of providers in this country, October, has been done. Now, it was for them to submit November, and that would take processing of December, January, and for them to be paid in February. Mr. Speaker, so I don't know why the President made this statement. And it must be put right that as of January 7, there was no delays in provider payments in this country. Again, the NHI inherited a positive balance of 1 billion. And that is what they used to pay claims of November, December, January, and February, Mr. Speaker. Payments are roughly about 220 million. So when you calculate payments of 220 million for 4 months, all the payments the NDC did last year for November, December, January, February were monies that they inherited in the positive balance of the NHIA. And I am going to tender in the balanced position of the NHIA as of January 31st, 2025, so that we kill this mischief once and for all. You did not inherit a poor position from the NHIA, and there were no delays in provider payments. Again, Mr. Speaker, another terrible blunder, again, that if it's not corrected, it sends pain to the heart of the many youths who have not been employed, and that of the son and daughter of the cocoa farmer who has not been employed as well. Mr. Speaker, the President again in his statement stated that, and I would want to quote, at the beginning of 2025, 103,000 trained health workers were still awaiting placements, employment, or enrollment on the payroll. Over the past year, 13,500 nurses and midwives, along with hundreds of doctors and pharmacists, were absorbed. Mr. Speaker, these 13,500 recruits were inherited by a clearance that was issued by the NPP government. It was not even 13,500. Mr. Speaker, it was 15,400. Again, I will tender the document for the purpose of this House and for the Hansa Department to capture. You inherited a clearance of 15,400 and you decide to put them on the payroll. However, Ghanaians listening to me, I would want you to know that the taxpayer, and of course that of the cocoa farmer, your child was not employed in 2025. Neither did they make any allocation in the budget to employ nurses and allied health workers for 2026, and that is shameful. Mr. Speaker, all the nurses and the pharmacists and the allied workers and medical laboratory technicians who are at home, hear me out. This government did not make a budget for you in 2025, neither have they made a budget for you in 2026. Mr. Speaker, just as the cocoa farmer is struggling, and cocoa farmer for Omaye Mobo, Mr. Speaker, Omaye Mobo. Yeah, Mr. So, me a cocoa farmer, my Mobo. To wait, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please.
To wait.
The heckle
I am
is too much.
sensitive on the issues of cocoa farmers.
Honorable members.
Because, Mr. Speaker, the name Ayew is a Mampo Ekweapim name, which was that of my great-grandfather who commercialized cocoa farming. Before the onset of Cocoa Board, Ayew was the one who was the chairman of the Cocoa Farmers Union of Ghana, who always sent cocoa to England to pay and came to pay. So I am a bona fide, a loyalist, and a protege or a descendant of a great cocoa farmer, Ayew of Mampo Ekweapim. Mr. Speaker, I'm not happy the way they are treating cocoa farmers. And the cocoa farmers' children are either not being employed. Many of them are nurses. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, last year, the nurses who were not employed, the new ones, were 20,000. Mr. Speaker, those of 2025 will complete their licensure in June, and there will be another 20,000. Mr. Speaker, normally, all these new ones are about 20,000. So the more the NDC refuse to bring a supplementary budget that would inherit and clear all these people, this backlog, there will be every year 20 more thousand of nursing people being produced. Mr. Speaker, where are we going as a country? Where are we going as a country? We are putting pains in the heart of the Ghanaian nurses. Mr. Speaker, I have not even spoken about pharmacists. There are over 20,000 pharmacists and they churn almost about 8,000 each year. There was no clearance for them. But before last year, each year, they were all being employed. But it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, as of last year, as of 2024, the NPP government employed those of 2020. Mr. Speaker, 2020. So as of 2025, they should have employed the 2021. And that will not be only nurses, pharmacists, medical laboratory, physiotherapists, and all of them. Mr. Speaker, there is no future, there's no hope for this youth. Each and every one of you listening to me, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, all of them, since last year, there is no recruitment. The politics here is using the NPP's clearance of 2024. Although they were putting them on that payroll because the money was sitting there, they give the impression that they were being recruited. There was no recruitment in 2025, and there is no recruitment in 2026. Mr. Speaker, the supplementary budget of this government should include that of nurses and allied health workers. For once, listen and hear them out. Mr. Speaker, today, Joseph Opata, who is the president of the nurses who failed, there are about 6,000 of them who failed in 2020, and they were to be employed. Mr. Speaker, today, he is selling aboboya and repairing it. My fear is this: many of these skilled workers, when they stay home for long, they lose their skills. And that is the problem. So are you going to be quiet so we churn 20,000 of nurses every year and they sit home engaging themselves as of? So here, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statement, it says we inherited, it's not true, we inherited 103,000. Mr. Speaker, they did inherited only about 60,000. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, source is clear. Mr. Speaker, 60,000. They inherited 60,000, and this were 20,000 of 2021. 20,000 of 2022, 20,000 of 2023. Today, they have added 20,000 of 2024, 20,000 of 2025. And you sit there. In June, you are going to add another 20,000, which means that in 2 years,
Thank you, Dr. Ayew. Thank you, Dr. Ayew. You've been bailed out. So let me now turn to Honorable James Agaga.
Thank you, Mr.
James,
Speaker.
you are the chairman of a committee, and therefore you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, a renowned security analyst and a disaster management expert, when called upon to assess the performance of President Mahama vis-à-vis the performance of President Akufo-Addo in his last 2 years in government, scored as follows. President Mahama, 7.5 over 10. President Akufo-Addo, 1.2 over 10. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, in arriving at his conclusion,
See, immediately you came out with that figures, Reverend just popping.
So, Mr. Speaker, 7.5 over 10 versus 1.2 over 10. Those were the scores of Dr. Ishmael Norman. Now, who is Dr. Ishmael Norman? He's neither NPP nor NDC. In fact, if Reverend Intim Fojo had been asked to score President Akufo-Addo, one would say he's NPP and therefore would be biased. Mr. Speaker, in similar light, if you were to ask Agalga to score President Mahama and I scored him, you'd say because I am NDC, I am being biased. But Dr. Ishmael Norman is a professional par excellence, well respected. Those were the scores. So I proceed on the premises of Dr. Ishmael Norman's scores. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama, in his message on the state of the nation, indicated that 3 brand new airports are going to be built. One would be built in Sunyani to serve the former Bono and Ahafu regions. In fact, the current airport is no longer fit for purpose. We can't expand or extend the runway. And so President Mahama has decided that we give those 2 regions a brand new airport. Similarly, the people of Upper West also deserve a brand new airport because the airport there now is not fit for purpose. When aircraft take off, Mr. Speaker, they violate Burkina Faso's airspace. So President Mahama says, let us give them a brand new airport. Mr. Speaker, my own region, when I am traveling to my constituency and land in Tamale, I have to drive for 4 hours before I get to Sandema, the capital of my constituency. President Mahama says, enough of the suffering. We have endured a lot. So the Upper East, for the first time, would also be given a brand new airport. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me talk about security, which is my field. And Mr. Speaker, Dr. Norman made a quick scan of the security landscape in arriving at the scores that I alluded to in my earlier presentation. Now, the president spoke about CI 129, and yesterday I heard my brother, the defense minister. He knows I will respond to him. That is